Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
Sorry. Yeah, Jack was trying to stream Pokemon to the TV so
Uh,
he could play, but it was messing up the
oh,
audio, so
okay. All right.
but it's fine.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
That's that. No, that's fine. That's fine. We usually have a bit at the beginning of the podcast where like we try and do something funny, so that will just go in. That'd be really funny.
Okay, good.
Have a bit of realness to the podcast. I like it. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. All right. But are we ready now? Are we ready?
I think so. I mean, I have no clue what's happening, but yes. Yes, I'm ready.
All right. I am very happy to say hello and welcome to the In the Den podcast. I am your host Craig Denham, and today I'm being joined by my lovely friend.
Georgia.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'm honestly so happy to hear your voice. It's great. Oh my god. Oh, how are you? How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting on as well as I can do. It's not
Yeah.
the nicest time to be
Yeah.
existing at the moment, but
Yeah. Oh. So, how do we know each other? How do we know each other? Just for the audience at home.
we met in college,
Yeah.
as in sixth form college,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like university college for anybody
Yeah.
that's confused. We had a drama class and English class together.
Yeah.
I eventually dropped out of drama because I wasn't having it, but
Yeah.
we stayed in English class together, and we just became good friends and
friends,
ended up
yeah.
having a bit of a weird friendship dynamic. Where
Speaking of English, we didn't plan this at all, but I just remember that today is 2 years to the day since our English exam, our last English exam.
oh god.
Yeah. It's been that long. Oh my god.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was a bit of a
mad
crap
time.
exam.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I don't think anybody did well on that.
What was that? Was that Handmaid's Tale? That exam?
I can't remember what order they were in. I
I
know that
think
one of them was Handmaid's Tale. It
I think
probably was.
actually no. I think now that I mention it, it was our Year 12 exam first, and then our Year 13 exam after, which was Handmaid's Tale. Have I? Oh god. Have I ever told you about Handmaid's Tale? Um, about about me maybe not having have read it.
Jesus
have I
Christ.
have I told you that?
No! Oh, I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm sorry.
So what, you just, apart from during class, you just didn't look at the book
No.
at all?
Well, okay. Well, I did look at the book. It's just I did try and read it, and I didn't like it. So I was like, oh, like I don't I don't want to force myself to read it. And I tried listening
Well,
to the audiobook, and I didn't like it either.
see, I went through it by listening to the audiobook and
Yeah.
reading it at the same time and taking notes, but clearly some people don't care as much.
I mean, like,
I tried a little bit, I guess.
yeah, like I think Handmaid's Tale was the only one that I didn't um really take an interest in, apart from William Blake. But that I think that's just like, I think anything we learnt with William Blake is just a bit meh.
I don't know. I quite like poetry. I enjoyed The Handmaid's Tale. I haven't actually watched like the TV version of it, but I'd be quite interested to. Maybe.
I haven't watched it for obvious reasons. I think it would probably bring back some post traumatic stress disorder in me. But yeah, like that was the only one I didn't really read. I say didn't really read. I didn't read it. But the rest of them I did read. I promise you, I did read them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, actually, what was your favorite thing that we did with English, like book or poetry?
Probably my favorite was Gatsby, but purely just
Yes,
because I can't remember that lovely man's name, but
Mr.
our old
Carr.
teacher, Mr. Carr,
Mr. Carr, yeah.
he made it really fun. I wish we had him for like the whole time. We
Yeah,
probably would have fucking passed the exams if we had
yeah,
him for the whole time, but
yeah. Oh, I really loved Gatsby as well, and I was so annoyed when like the only thing that I enjoyed about that English course was just like just bunned off the course. They were just like, "Nah, you're not doing it." Like,
that was really sad because
yeah,
I like Gatsby and I really like the 20s as just a
yeah,
well, not these 20s, obviously. The 1920s, I really, I really like as just a period of the sort of fashion and
yeah,
architecture and all sorts of like interior design and just the fun sort of party
yeah,
lifestyle. I think it's just really interesting to learn about, and so I had that aspect, and also I just thought it was a nicely well written book.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I um, I really liked Gatsby. Actually, to be honest with you, I really enjoyed everything that we learned in Year 12, apart from maybe Othello. I struggled with Othello a lot.
I quite like Shakespeare, but I see how it's difficult to follow because it
Mm,
doesn't read
yeah,
terribly easily unless you are like me and you just monologue it aloud at home.
yeah. Like I've been trying to read as much Shakespeare as I can, like during lockdown, but like it's just so difficult. I just really I think I've read The Tempest, which we're doing at RADA, and then I've also read Two Gentlemen of Verona, and now I'm trying to read The Merry Wives of Windsor, but I can't bring myself to read it because it's just so difficult.
Well, did you know the trick to reading Shakespeare and like definitely William Blake as well is to read it aloud in a like a Scouse accent.
Okay.
Or is it Scouse or is it Birmingham? I think it might be Birmingham actually, a Brummie accent.
A Brummy
Like
accent.
try like Tiger Tiger burning bright. It's like Tiger Tiger burning bright.
Tiger burning bright.
And then it rhymes better, but I can't do accents, Jesus.
That actually does make a lot of sense. Actually, if it rhymes better. Yeah.
So give it a go
I
and
will.
work on
I
your
will.
accents.
I will give it a go. I will give it a go because I seriously need to try and read more Shakespeare because it is so interesting, but I do struggle with the language and like to kind of sit there and read the whole book is like ugh, you know. As well as like the fact that Shakespeare that I've got complete works of Shakespeare. It's like 1,600 pages. I just think I
Hmm.
can't read all that.
Well, you can if you really, really try.
I don't, but like it's just like I look at it and it's just such a daunting task, 1,600 pages of
Mm.
like just like really complex language, and like minimum it's going to take me like 6 months, I think. So
Well, I mean, at present, who knows where we'll be in 6 months? So,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm officially back at work next month,
oh,
which
that's
is
brilliant.
yeah, which is interesting. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen when I go back. It's going to be a completely new world. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
How
gonna
do you
be
feel
weird.
about that? Is it daunting? Because obviously you'll be
Yeah,
pretty up close and personal with
yeah,
strangers whose health, like, you don't know anything about.
yeah,
I wouldn't want to be in that position. I'm just gonna say.
yeah. Like I think for me, I think I sit here and I think it's like it could be worse. I could have been back to work like 2 months ago, and like it could, like it's not the worst thing to be doing because like if as long as like our health and safety is kind of maintained and I'm safe or I'm made to feel safe, then I should be okay. Um, but I think the hardest thing for me is just like you know in theory, like it's my job to kind of make sure that we're all safe and like make sure everything's clean and hygienic, and like that's going to be a stressful time to make sure that I'm on top of everything. But also, I think like I'm meant to be training, and that's just going to go out the window. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sure you're gonna become like a local hero to
Yeah,
hundreds of lads that have been growing their hair out over
yeah.
over the
What?
past few months.
I'm gonna be so annoyed though, because like usually I get free haircuts at work, so
Mm,
like I can kind of get one every like 2 3 weeks, and it's no big deal. But
keep it
like,
fresh.
yeah, but like now I don't think I'm gonna get one. you know, I don't think I'm gonna get one for like a couple of weeks. I might go to, because obviously I'm still gonna go to college.
Yeah.
I might ask one of the college lads to do it, but then again, it's like a hit or miss. It could be a really nice haircut, or it could be really terrible. Um,
Well, it's probably be better than anything you could do to
yeah,
yourself or
yeah. I mean,
get your mum to do.
I'm kind of rocking an undercut on the sides. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I think the back. I have no idea what the back looks like. If I'm completely honest with you, it's probably awful. Um, but I would like some sort of nice tight fade in a month's time. That's what I'm looking forward to. Um, I guess as well, I'm looking forward to seeing all the people that I haven't spoken to in like 4 months or so. You know, like all my work
Mm,
colleagues. That's gonna be interesting to kind of talk to them and see how they've been doing.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's just it's been a weird time, but
yeah. I just remember, was it Miss? Oh, what was that lovely teacher's name that we had for the last kind of like 4 months of English? Not Mr.
I can't
Dumpleton.
remember.
But you know who
No.
was it? No. I think we can touch upon him in the politest way that we can, in the most respectful way that we can, maybe a bit later on. But I just
Yeah.
remember that, yeah, because like I do want to talk about him because it is like a very funny and very interesting part of our time together. But I do want to respect the man. You know what I mean? Just like make sure that he doesn't lose a job or anything. By what we
Well,
talk about.
yeah.
Yeah. But was it Miss Reeve?
That sounds about right to me.
Yeah, Miss Reeve. I think I remember because she was talking about like dystopian novels and stuff like that, which is because
Mm,
we did The Handmaid's Tale. It was like, oh yeah, dystopian novels like when something really bad happens in the future. I was like, oh yeah, but that's like years in the future, and then here I am 2 years later, just like you know,
live
here
in
we
it.
are, living the dream, baby. Uh,
Ugh, living the nightmare more like, Jesus.
God, I mean, like it's just weird to think that this is the new normal, and this is the new time of our lives that was just not planned for at all. You know, weird. Just so how have you been dealing with it then?
Uh, well, I've been able to work from home,
Yeah,
so that's been keeping me busy. It's it's really strange though. Like
yeah,
you leave your work environment and you bring it into your home environment,
mm,
which is like I associate being at home with chilling out and eating
yeah,
food and like taking my mind off things. But now
yeah,
it's like trying to focus at the same time. It just doesn't jam in my head very well.
yeah,
But um, I'm trying, and
yeah,
I am really grateful that I'm able to be working and be getting paid at the moment because I know so many
yeah,
other people aren't in that position. And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't think I actually ever asked. What are you doing for work at the moment?
Oh, so for the past year, I'd been doing an apprenticeship
Okay.
as an admin assistant
Ah, okay.
at an accountant's,
Yeah.
but that finished in May, and I got
Yeah.
promoted to a payroll associate, which is very fancy.
Yeah. Well done.
uh,
I'm gassed.
Thank you. None of this is what I really want to do with my life, but it's
Yeah.
what I was able to get as a job that
Yeah.
would pay me.
I mean,
Um,
I'm in the same boat if I'm honest.
well,
I
ideally,
never
when I
planned.
finished
Yeah.
my apprenticeship, I wanted to try and go into doing some childcare,
Yeah.
but obviously, I was finishing it in May, so it's not
Yeah.
really the ideal time right now to try and look after other people's children.
Yeah. It's probably not the best the best thing to do.
No, but I've been able to make myself a pretty important part of uh my what's it called? Organizations.
Yeah,
I've been able to create myself quite an inaugural part of it, so hopefully I
yeah,
won't be getting sacked anytime soon.
yeah. I was speaking to my nan and she was like saying that, oh, you know, what if there's budget cuts and things, and maybe that because obviously I'm still an apprentice, so like if anyone's job's going to go, it's probably going to be mine, you know. So there's always that worry of that maybe if I go back to work, there will be, you know, cuts, and that maybe they'll say, you know, we can't afford to keep you on anymore. But you know, we live in hope. We live in hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is it scheduled to end your
It was
apprenticeship?
November. Um,
Okay.
and they said they'll give us an extension
Hmm.
past November. So I probably will um I'll probably be there in January, February, March time of next year, still going at it. Um, because if I'm honest, I'm still not 100% confident in my abilities right now, and I've been doing it technically for like 6 7 months. Um, before
No,
lockdown,
I
so
hear you.
I think I'll be there for even longer than like past March. Um, but like,
Well,
you know,
hopefully you will be. I
yeah,
I hope that they'll see that what you're doing is important and
yeah,
that hopefully they can find the funds to keep going with it because
yeah,
it'd be such a shame if so many other sort of young people were just sort
yeah,
of ripped away from their passage into the working world as
yeah,
apprenticeships are for so many people. Just
yeah.
but
Never actually
it's
realized
I
how,
don't get to run the country.
yeah, never realized actually how important apprenticeships are, because I've always like, because like when I first started working, and then people kind of started saying that, oh, we don't really care about your qualifications, like we don't care what you got in, like, you know, your A levels, we care about what you can do, like. And
Mm,
I never realized that.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I never realized that fully until like I did an apprenticeship, and they were like, "We don't care what you have, right? We just want to know what you can do." You know. So actually, I think an apprenticeship is so important nowadays.
That's pretty much the whole reason I got into the apprenticeship in the first place
Yeah,
because I was
same. Yeah,
looking for work. I'd send my CV, they'd say, I mean, everything looks great. You look like the perfect candidate, but there's no experience here.
yeah,
So we
yeah,
don't know that you can actually do this. It looks like you can, but we can't take that risk.
yeah. Because I remember like with I got very lucky with the BBC actually, because it was Miss Thomas that emailed me and just said like, if you're looking for something, we have something that I think you might want to do. Um, so I kind of really landed on my feet with that. But then like leaving, I just realized that even like places like Asda and Sainsbury's wouldn't even like respond to my job applications, and it was
Yeah,
really
I
like,
know.
yeah, frustrating that I've kind of done 2 years or so of A levels to kind of get some sort of qualification and yet not really be qualified. It's difficult.
No, I think it's still so hard for young people to get a start in the world if they
Yeah,
choose an alternative to university.
yeah,
Or even choose to just defer university, take a gap year. Some
yeah,
people think, oh, I don't want to go into university yet. I'll take a gap year. I'll do some work. I'll learn about the world. And then you realize I can't get a job because I have
yeah.
no work experience.
I That was
And
literally my life last year. Just like I was like, I'm gonna just do any job and just like do as much as I can in this gap year that I was having, and then like just found out I have no qualifications and I'm not qualified to do any job.
yeah, uh,
Yeah,
it's just disheartening when you think, oh, if worst comes to worst, I'll go work at Asda. And Asda says, nah, we're good.
yeah, yeah. I
You're
that
like,
was
Jesus, am I not
yeah,
even good enough for that? Ugh, okay.
yeah. Because I think I did the job that I went for was um like shopping for other people, just literally going around with a trolley shopping for other people, and
That's what my dad does.
yeah, but I was like, could I not do that? And they were like, no. But I was like, oh, okay. So you know, but that's why I turned to my apprenticeship and was like, I want to get paid and I want to be qualified to do something. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So like. I am still glad that I went to Elstree and I did all my A levels, but like it is kind of unfortunate that it kind of prepared me for nothing, you know, and that
Mm.
and that if anything, I've had to kind of make my own way in the world without any of their help. So yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Uh,
yeah,
I think I got quite a lot out of them, mostly just because the school I was previously at, like for my GCSEs and everything, it was so academically focused,
yeah,
and university was the only option. And uh, if you wanted to do something creative, fine, but you kind of have to do that as a hobby. You
yeah,
can't do it as like your main focus or anything. And then going to Austria, I was surrounded by all these other people that um, were amazingly talented
yeah,
and so creative and really supportive teachers telling you this is actually a pathway you can go down. You don't have
yeah,
to go to university. You don't have to be academic. I'm lucky enough that I'm pretty academic and creative at the same time, so I could
yeah,
go down either. But my heart's really in doing something creative,
mm,
working with other people. I don't really want to be like an English scholar or whatever my mum wanted me to be.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Um, but I still have no regrets about Elstree. I'm still really happy with like what I got out of it, and
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and like even like I sit there and like even though my exam grades weren't what I expected and they were much lower than I thought I was going to get, I still feel like I learnt more than what that letter says on that paper. But also,
Yeah, uh,
yeah, but
I mean,
yeah,
grading in general is a whole other
yeah,
issue that I have problems with. But
yeah. I think also just like what I've also learned from Elstree is just like when they were like you know the grade isn't necessarily reflective of your talent and like you know there are so many immensely talented people there but the grades don't really reflect it,
mm,
um what I'd also say as well is that I have so many friends now, because of that school and because of that place, you know, and so many people I deeply care about and it's all from that school and I'm incredibly grateful to have gone there.
hmm
Yeah,
it's really, it just, I don't think there was anybody there that was like horrible.
yeah, no,
Obviously, there were people that like I didn't click with. It just
yeah,
I wasn't really mates, but there was nobody who I was like, oh, not that person. That person's horrid. I don't want anything
yeah,
to do with them. Like, it's just a
yeah,
really nice, friendly, and just chilled sort of
yeah,
place. It it was a really nice way to spend sort of my late teen years. I really liked that.
yeah, yeah. I still really miss it. I still really miss kind of being able to go and like, see you and Daisy on a Monday for English and like,
Yeah,
oh,
I
what
do
a,
miss seeing people
yeah,
like every day, just knowing that like I'll go in and I'll see all these people and I'll have fun.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just, especially these days, it's
yeah,
difficult. You don't see hardly anybody.
yeah, yeah. Like I found it really hard these last couple months, like to kind of like speak to people and like reach out. Um, I think that this is in many ways why I've done the podcast to try and reach out to as many people as I can and just be like, just have a conversation, and it's actually been really
Yeah,
fun. Yeah. I
I think it
also
was a really lovely
yeah,
idea for you to do this.
yeah. I also really struggled literally straight after I left school to really talk to people.
Mm,
That felt like a weird time to like not speak to people just after you left. Not you
yeah.
specifically, but
No,
everyone.
no, no. Same sort of thing for me. I mean, I left school technically like before I was meant to
Yeah,
because my family had to move to Brighton.
yeah,
So I left in like June rather than like July or whenever it was meant to be.
yeah,
But I'd done everything and I
yeah,
was able to submit like last minute things online. But so I was sort of uprooted from that.
yeah,
And then I was away from London, I was away from everybody else.
mm,
And it was it was weird. And then after that, I went all the way up to Manchester, and
Yeah,
still nobody was sort of around. And it's been a bit, yeah, lonely
yeah,
and hard because everybody else is like off at uni or working as well. So it's
yeah,
not easy
yeah,
to be like, oh, I'll just come see you
yeah,
because everybody's got shit to do. Oh,
yeah.
sorry, I didn't actually check. Is it all right if I like curse on the podcast?
Absolutely. I don't.
Okay, brilliant,
I,
brilliant. Because
I,
I
s-
don't want to upset you or
no, no,
upset anyone. I know
no.
I wouldn't upset you, but like, I don't want to like ruin your art form
Well,
by
like
like.
the only person that's concerned of it is my mum. I know that I call you my mother, but my birth mother has said that she doesn't like me swearing. But other than that, she's down with the idea of a podcast. So,
Mhm.
swear as much as you like.
Well, I'll try and keep it to a minimum. Try and
Yeah.
keep it tasteful, but yeah, no, it's been difficult. It's
Mm,
especially hard to make new friends in a new place when
yeah.
you're not going to school or university.
Yeah.
You're not around people necessarily your own age or people who are there
Yeah.
also looking to make friends. Like going into like my first job when I moved up, I was really lucky. I was able to get a job pretty much straight away. It
Yeah.
was just in like a pound stretcher.
Yeah.
So it's all different people, lots of people that are older than me just doing their job. They don't really
Yeah.
want to like be mates, or there's people who already live there, already have friends and are sort of friendly enough, but don't really want to like fully invite me like to hang out with them outside of work.
Yeah.
So,
I felt that with working for the BBC a little bit because like when you're the coffee guy, you're the guy that gets the coffee for you, like, and you're monstrously underqualified compared to everyone else, and you're
mm,
just left school and there's people that are in their 30s and 40s and that they're having like full-time careers. It's really hard to kind of like find neutral ground.
yeah,
Yeah,
even if you are willing to be friends, so many people that are
yeah,
like older just they just don't
yeah,
want to because they think you're a kid.
yeah,
But I'm a lonely kid. Help.
yeah. But even like I think that I struggle to kind of sometimes talk to people and come out of my shell, you know. So like I think being in a world full of people that are like 20 years older than me is difficult, you know, and that their parents and they've got mortgages and that that's a whole new world to me. That's always difficult when you've just left school.
Yeah, I mean, where I'm working now, I don't think anybody's like over the age of like 35 in my
Yeah,
office. So it's quite a young office, but there's a couple other people that are around my age, sort of early 20s, but
yeah.
I don't really like them that much.
um, It's kind of sort of the same with my shop. I do like the people I work with. Just in case my boss is listening, and I
No,
wouldn't.
like in general, I do, but like they're not sort of people that I'm like, oh, we're gonna
Yeah,
be mates outside of work. It's just like we get on all right in the office, but
yeah,
I don't really want to
yeah,
see you outside.
yeah. But like I think the people in my shop are also like kind of in their 20s, and it's quite nice to kind of work with people that are kind of down to your level and like can kind of relate to where you're at in life. Just trying to start out and like you know they don't really care if you get shit wrong. You know, I think that's the biggest thing for me is like getting things wrong because people kind of get really annoyed when you get stuff wrong, but then like you're just like, I'm sorry, I'm new to this. That's also been hard. Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely have problems with doing things and not getting it right the first time.
yeah,
And then I just end up wasting like so much time trying to figure it out rather than
yeah,
just saying, look, I gave it a go. I don't get it. I'm going to ask
yeah,
somebody that knows what they're doing so I can learn and actually get it done like now rather than in 2 hours.
yeah. And like I think the hardest thing is like you know when you are still learning and people don't really get that and that you're trying your best but maybe your best isn't good enough. That's hard. that's a really hard thing to kind of come to terms with. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at us, a bunch of what 20-year-olds already like work sucks. Yeah, what happened to us? What happened? Do you want to take it back to Elstree, back to glory days?
Sure.
Sure. Right. Because like this is something that I've been really looking forward to. Because like I can't remember much of like funny stories that happened at Elstree. You know, and like I'm like you're the first person I've interviewed from Elstree, so I'm trying to like think about funny stuff that happened at school. Um, I think the funniest thing that ever happened to us at school was probably Mr. Dumpleton.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, that was the weirdest time of my life.
it definitely was a bit of a shock 'cause I'd never like encountered a teacher that was so ill-equipped for teaching
Yeah.
before.
So how did he come about? Was it Miss Thomas had stopped teaching English?
Yeah, so Miss
And
Thomas stopped teaching
yeah,
English so she could just focus on drama, and so they sort of, I guess they were just scrounging for whoever
yeah,
was looking for an English teacher's position, and they just gave it to him. But
yeah. Was he also head of English?
I think,
I
yeah,
think
by
he, yeah,
proxy, I think if you're like one of the
I,
only English teachers, you have to be head of English.
yeah. I think also like I think he might have also been head of maths at one point because I remember Matt saying something about him. I think
Maybe, yeah.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny that, but he might have also been head of maths, which can kind of tell you the direction that else you were heading in terms of their kind of STEM subjects and how they treated it.
Mm.
Yeah, they probably could have done slightly better with the STEM subjects instead of just having one English teacher.
Yeah.
So
Especially could have vetted the the hiring process a little bit better.
a little bit better, much much better. I mean, like I've had because my secondary school was like a specialist in English, and like I remember just having an array of incredible English teachers who were just so talented and so knowledgeable. And even though I'm naturally not very good at English, I kind of got quite far. So I think when I got to English A level at Elstree, where the teaching quality wasn't as good as it could have been, I kind of was
That's a
destined to
bit of an
fail.
understatement, but yeah.
Yeah, and I should stress as well that I think actually most of our teachers were fairly good. I liked Mr. Carr. I liked Miss Thomas. Um, was
No,
it Miss?
I don't have as much of an issue with the individual teachers. It's more
Yeah.
just that there were so many over the the
God,
span of 2 years.
how many did we have in the end? Because like I think excluding like substitute teachers, I think it's like five. I think.
I think it was 5.
Oh God, five and that's almost like one one a term.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah,
that's my main issue with it. It's just the
yeah,
inconsistency and just not being able to really get comfortable and feel like you know who you're talking to and
yeah.
know their teaching style and know how to work with it. Yeah.
I think also people kind of like um I think teachers specifically get to know students over a course of a year or two, and
Mm.
then like they can really help you when it kind of really comes to it in like um the last kind of time couple weeks that you're there. They kind of know your writing style. They know what you're not good at. They know what you are good at, and they can help you with the stuff that you're not good at. But if
Yeah.
if you're Miss Reeve and you've only been there for 5 months, there is only so much you can do. You
Yeah.
know. Um.
But she really tried her best.
Oh
It's
yeah,
sweet
yeah.
angel of a woman. I really hope she's doing all right.
So do I. I hope that she's either at a better school than Elstree or having a massive pay rise somewhere because she fucking deserves it. you know.
Yes.
Yes. Because I actually remember. I think I think you can probably remember me in like end of year 12. I'd kind of given up English at that point. I
Yeah.
really kind of wasn't giving it any thought at all. But like somehow Miss Reeve in like the dying moments of English had kind of come round and saved my coursework, and I got it up to a C, nearly a B, and I was like, what?
Hmm.
I was like, how did you do that? And I was just, and then I was that kind of got me thinking when I did get my final exam grade was just like I could have maybe had actually got a decent grade if she'd been there a bit longer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think we all got a nasty shock when we got our exam results because I was definitely on target for like at least a B.
yeah,
And then it was like 2 grades below that, and I was like,
yeah.
ooh.
I It was the same with me in drama. I was 2 grades below what I was predicted, and I remember speaking to Mr. Mallon, and Mr. Mallon was like, kind of like your performance wise is like up to a B and stuff like that. So like to kind of drop 3 whole grades in like the space of maybe like a year and a half is massive. You know, I think that might have been down to the teaching quality, but yeah, it does suck. But I think what's good is that even though I may have done really badly in my exam, I feel like I didn't waste it because I was sat with you and Daisy, and we had a banger of a time.
We definitely did. It
Yeah,
was so much fun. I always looked forward to going to English class because I knew
yeah,
you guys were going to be there, and no matter who it was that was teaching or what we were learning about, it was
yeah.
going to be a fun
It's
two
going to be a
hours.
fun 2 hours. Yeah, I didn't
Hmm.
I didn't enjoy the content of English. I think you might remember me opening FIFA packs. Do you remember
Yes.
me? I was opening FIFA packs at the back of the classroom. But
Hmm.
I did enjoy your company, and I enjoyed Daisy's company as well. So that was kind of it for me, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
Hmm.
and also we did drama together as well. Uh, how long were you in drama for?
uh, maybe like 3 months. Not a long time.
Yeah, because I remember our class started actually really big. Like I think there was about 15 of us when we started,
Mm.
maybe even more, and then we ended up with like 9 of us, which was just weird to kind of have so many people drop out. But like, if I'm honest, I can't really blame you because like even I sometimes was a bit like we're not really on target to kind of like do a lot of our stuff.
No, that's sort of why I dropped because I like drama. It's just
Mm,
the way it was being taught to me. I couldn't see how it was giving any benefit like
yeah,
to my education. It was sort of just a bit of a laugh,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that I wasn't learning anything from it, and that I wouldn't really have anything to show for it at the end. And
yeah,
I just couldn't. With Mr.
yeah.
Mallon's teaching style, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I quite enjoyed it, and I felt like I learned a lot from him. But I also feel like I kind of can understand where you're coming from because I think sometimes he wasn't clear, and also I think maybe I think the problem was as well is that we're working for an A level, not just to kind of be good actors and like to not work towards and an A level was kind of quite bad.
Yeah,
It felt like that a lot.
that is the main issue I had with it because
Yeah.
I mean I did learn like acting and I
Yeah.
learned stuff like that from him, but I didn't learn anything about how do I use this to further my education? How do I use this to,
Yeah.
open some more opportunities and give me a good grade to show for it? Because nobody's going to believe that I'm good at acting if I end up with like a shit grade at the end of it, are
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so good. Look, I got like an E.
Yeah.
They'd be like, mm.
Because I feel like I struggle with that now because I sit here and I think that I'm not shit, but like
Oh, you're good.
yeah, yeah, I'm not bad,
Say
but like
it. Say you're good.
I'm a good actor.
Yes, Craig.
but but like I do think that if I was to turn up to like some sort of theatre and be like, hi, I'm looking for a job, they're like, yeah, sure, let's have a look at your CV, and I happen to be in drama. They're kind of like, ooh, you know,
Yeah, it
ooh,
just it doesn't. come up well on paper. Like
Yeah,
if we are gonna have our education graded in such a way, you need to be able
yeah,
to show your talents. It's not good enough for a teacher to say, "Well, you're way better than what it says on paper." It's like, okay, well, are you going to vouch for me? You're going to come with me to every job interview.
yeah.
You're
Because
going to say, "Oh, I know what it says on the CV, but don't believe
yeah,
that. Trust me, they're really good." It's like,
'cause I remember in my year 12 report, Mr. Mallon was like, Craig is good enough to be considering going to drama school, but there are some drama schools where I don't have the UCAS grades for.
mm,
So like it kind of contradicts itself. I'm in theory good enough to be at a top drama school, but a top drama school might not accept me because of my UCAS grade.
exactly.
You know? And that's I think what really frustrates me was that it was it he couldn't apply his teachings to a formal academic education.
Mm,
That's what
yes,
went wrong.
absolutely.
But still, I feel like even the time that we were in drama together was fun. You know, I'm trying to think because we're casting our minds back now almost 4 years because that's how long it's
Yeah,
been.
yeah.
Trying to think like some of the stories or things that we might have. I don't know if I can remember any. It's just so long, you know.
I mean, I don't think I can ever forget Romario prancing about in his like little silver shorts.
Oh my god, Romario! Romario is honestly, I love that boy so much. He is one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and also he's one of the funniest as well. Um,
I haven't really kept in touch. I just see him on Instagram being like, "Look, I can do pull-ups at home."
I am a sexy boy with muscles. That's pretty
Yes.
much what I see from Romario these days. But but I remember with with Romario, we had a drama exam. It was our second to last one in the November of year 13, and
Mm.
it was our independent monologue, and we did it from Macbeth. Um, and I think he did "To Be Thus Is Nothing." Um, yeah, he did "To Be Thus Is Nothing," and I just distinctively remember him going to him just disappearing, even though we were supposed to be rehearsing the whole day. He disappears, and I was like, he came back at like 1 o'clock. Our exam was at like 2 o'clock. I was like, Romario, where the hell have you been? He was like, oh, I've been at the gym. I think that just sums up Romario perfectly. Is that he'd rather go to the gym than like go to go to do drama. But like, I love him dearly, and he's a great friend, and I do have some great memories with him. Um, yeah, big up Romario for listening. Big up Romario. I hope he's listening. You know, um, but yeah, that's a funny memory from drama. Um, I do though remember just like early drama being really fun and like really creative. Like learning about Stanislavski and Brecht and Artaud was really fun.
Mm. I remember I remember all the exercises before the classes. We would just lay on the ground and like pretend to be
Mm,
like
we do stuff like that. I do,
just laying on the ground, just surrounded by like pubes.
I do remember though. Like it was, it was a couple months ago, I think, and my tutor at RADA, Phil, he said, "Oh, something's come up on my laptop." That made a funny noise.
Oop.
Um, oh, um, um, so yeah, Phil, a couple months ago, it might have been like February time. He was like, "We're doing warm ups at the start of each class, and come in and, and design your own warm up or whatever, and we'll do it
Mhm.
together." And I just remember thinking like, Mr. Mallon, you prepared me for this moment. I just, I just completely recycled his um his warm up, but it worked, and I really liked it. So yeah, do you know what though? The music Do you
Yeah.
remember the? Oh my god! I need to find out where that what that is.
I just remember it always being a bit weird.
I liked it though, and I feel like every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, it's time to warm up. You know,
That's good.
so I think I want to find. I might even email him and just say, sir, if you have any idea what you used to do to like what the YouTube link, I want it because I just whenever I want to get into character, I just know whenever that music plays, I'm like, right, go to calm. Um, I would email him, but like he never gets back to my emails. So
Aw.
I remember because I when I auditioned for Rada in September, I sent out a bunch of emails and just was like to all my old drama teachers that I've had, I was just like, if there's any advice you can give me, that'd be greatly appreciated. And I was like,
Mhm.
I love Miss Thomas, and Miss Thomas is great because Miss Thomas replies like an instant. You know,
Yes.
she'll come back to you and she'll give you as much as she can, and she'll give it to you within the like 24 hours, and it's beautiful. And then Mr. Manning would just be like, "What's an email? What email did you send me?" I see him sometimes in Boreham Wood,
Yeah.
and yeah, he
Does he
doesn't.
wear shoes outside when he's doing
Yeah,
his own
yeah,
thing?
he does. He doesn't remember me, I don't think, because he's walked past me several times. Like we've kind of both mutually kind of like gone, maybe we shouldn't talk. I think that thing in the street where like you kind of nod to someone to like you're right. Like we don't even do that. We're just like I think it's just very awkward. So, but I will try and somehow get in contact with him for September, to hopefully kind of rehearse for some drama stuff. That'd be quite fun.
Yes, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that does sound great. So not only did we do English and drama together, but we were friends outside of drama and English. Very good friends. And we had a bunch of mutual friends as well, Phoenix and we were part of that group, weren't we? Yeah, that was a good time, and it was always fun to be in that group of friends. It was always fun to kind of have you there as well, and yeah, we should get the gang back together because I really miss it.
Yes.
Yeah, because like, didn't we have a group chat at one point?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and like no one uses that anymore, and it's really sad. That chat has been sat there for like dormant for at least 2 years, which is quite sad. But oh well, oh well. I'm trying to think. So like, um, trying to think of more stuff that we did at Elstree because I promise you that's not it. We did more stuff.
Yeah. Pff, I don't know. It all sort of blends into one thing for
Yeah,
me.
that is kind of the problem is that when because now we've been out of school for longer than we were in it, you know, it is kind of like just blended into one. But like, at least like, I've now remembered that Romario used to walk around in like silver shorts, and that's brought lovely images into my head that I won't be forgetting for a very long time. Um, so I guess like, you know, um, I'd like to ask you what you'd like to do in the future. I guess kind of like, what are your ambitions and goals and things, stuff like that. Now that you've moved on from school and academic education, or maybe you want to go back into it. I'm interested.
Jeez, yeah. Well, like I said earlier, I do still really want to go into doing childcare.
Yeah.
Um, Probably working in like a daycare.
Mm.
Um, Helping because I've always just really loved like babies and children. I've always just felt a really strong sort of maternal urge to look after them. Even when I was little, like I remember going to like summer, like in summer when your parents like kick you off to like a day camp
Yeah.
because they still have to work. I remember going to those and I was like usually quite a bit older than most of the other kids. So I'd be like
Yeah.
10 and all the other kids would be like 5. and
Yeah.
they'd all be like, Georgia, 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 and I'd be like, my children.
This makes this makes so much sense now. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
my children. Where have I heard that before?
Shut up, son.
Are there others? Are there others, Mum, that you've been calling your sons?
No, just
No.
you.
Oh, good, 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 good.
But yeah, I definitely would like to go down that route when I can, because I
Yeah,
think that would just be a really fulfilling job for me.
yeah,
And I'd also really like to have my own children, have my own family,
yeah,
and yeah, hopefully that will be happening soonish. But
yeah,
I have to wait until my partner Jack is obviously done with university, and we've got he's got a job as well, and
yeah,
we're more stable.
yeah,
And I mean, we'll just have to see where it goes. But
yeah.
I
Children,
definitely,
children, children frighten me. I will tell you that now. The prospect of becoming a father is the most frightening thing I have ever imagined. Right?
well, luckily for you, I don't think it's gonna be happening anytime soon.
Is that a comment on my sex life, Georgia, and the lack
The
of
lack
it?
thereof.
Lack of a sex life that I have. Um,
I mean, uh,
yeah.
you said it, not me.
I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said you were wrong, but yeah. If anyone is listening, please, please,
He's very
someone.
handsome. He's a very
I,
handsome young man. You should.
I promise you, when I have a haircut, I will look 10 times better. Um, actually, I have had a terrible haircut this whole year. Um, I'd like to. So essentially, um, I usually get my hair cut at work, but people at college are always keen to have give out haircuts, especially kind of the more
Yeah.
confident us. And they were like, a guy called Dennis was like, "Oh, do you want me to give you a trim?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And then like he gave me a trim, and then he goes, "Do you want me to line you up?" And I was like, "I have no idea what that is, but just say yes." Uh, and then essentially what he did was he got like the front of my hair, right? Like I usually have like a quiff, I guess, and like he kind of got the front of it, pulled it down, got like a detailer out, and just cut it off. And I was like, "Great, thanks, mate." And then like I came to work the next day, and I'm like, "What the fuck has happened to you?" And then like I was so annoyed, and then I had to have that for like 3 months.
Just a
Uh,
shitty little fringe.
yeah, and then essentially I got fed up of it, but also I was like, it's lockdown. Everyone else is gonna have a buzz cut. I wanted to buzz my hair for ages. Fuck it, and I buzzed my hair, which was fun. Um, so I buzzed it off, and then my hair is now grown out back to kind of where it was, and
Hmm.
it's now level. So all I need now is a haircut, and I will go back to being a nice looking boy. That's what I want.
You're still a nice looking boy. You just got
A
messy
chip
hair.
trim, yeah, chip trim, yeah. But like, this is the problem with going to a barber college is that people will just fuck up your hair, and like it is awful. Because like I remember I turned up to work one day, and this is like back in like last year, end of last year, and then like then I remember I just woken up in a hurry because I remember I was like I wake up quite late, and then I get a bus straight away. I get lunch, outside of work, whatever. There's like a usually get like Tesco in the St Albans, um,
Hmm.
and I was just like I remember in the morning we have like wet wipes that we put out into the drawers by the sections, so that when you're finished, you want a wet wipe, wipe all the hair off, whatever, so you're not all hairy.
Yeah.
I just remember looking in the mirror and just thinking, why is one side higher than the other? And then I'm having this panic because I'm at work and like I'm at a barber's and like my trim is awful and I've just and
I
like I've got
feel like that's just the general rule if you're ever gonna be like a professional like in like the hair or makeup industry, you have to look
yeah
like shit. I
yeah
don't think I've
like
ever gone to a hairdresser's where the lady doing my hair did not have the worst haircut I've ever seen in my life.
you'd be surprised how many barbers
Sorry.
you'd be surprised how many people I work with that are just bald or have just buzzed their hair. And like, do you know what my mum said to me once? Like, have you ever been to a builder's house and like it's just completely just like destroyed, like because like they can't be bothered to do it themselves, so they've been doing it at work all day. So I feel
Mm,
like that's kind of maybe the same thing that you kind of get to a barber's, they'll do your hair and it'd be really nice, but then, like they can't bother themselves.
yeah.
Yeah, but like, do you know what? Like some people look good with a buzz cut. I think I looked reasonable with my buzz. Like I would prefer to have done the sides a bit tighter, but I think the shorter you go, the harder it is to do and get right. Um,
Mm. Much
so
easier
like
to make mistakes.
yeah, and I think like if it's longer, it doesn't look as bad. So like as much as I want to do like a skin fade and have like a buzz cut on the top, it just doesn't. I'm definitely not qualified to do that at the moment. Also, I know I have a cowlick, um, and my cowlick was really prominent with my buzz cut because it's like all really short, and then just to the right, there's a little bit that comes up. It's quite cute actually. It's just a little
Well,
bit.
I can definitely relate to you there. I've got my cowlick like on the side of my head,
Mm,
so it always looks like I've got like Farrah Fawcett like 70s blowout just on that side of my head because the
yeah,
hair just curls away from my face.
I've had so many things go wrong with my hair this year. So like the fringe is one thing. I've buzzed it. I had what was it? I had oh yeah, I had the haircut from hell where like one side was longer than the other. Um, dur- During that haircut, I kid you not, because my boss noticed it and was like, I thought it looked bad, and he's like, yeah, so did I, but I didn't want to say anything. I was like, no, you should have said something. And then he was just like, do you know what? Because we have like 3 or 4 apprentices in our shops, and he was like, get Stan to cut it for you. I usually get my hair cut off him anyway. And then he like fixed it up for me, and then he goes like, Sam, who's my boss, Sam, can you come here for a second? He was like, yeah, what's wrong? And then I was just like, is it supposed to be like that? I was like, what? And then like they just gave me a mirror and they put it behind my head, and it was just covered in spots. I was just like,
Oh.
ooh, what's this? And they were like, we don't know. It's not infected because we know what it looks like if it's infected, but like, it's just maybe a reaction to the foiler. But I've never had because I've had my hair foiled like all year. I've never had a reaction before or since. And this is the guy from college doing my hair. I was like, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah.
So
Oh God.
yeah, so I've had some nightmare haircuts this year, but we we live to fight another day, and hopefully next month I will come back to work and get a nice haircut.
Nice fresh trim.
Mm,
Well, I'm quite lucky in that I know that if I was living on my own right now, my hair would be a disaster
yeah,
because I wouldn't have Jack around to tell me, no, you're not cutting your own bangs. No,
yeah.
you're not going to try and give yourself layers. No, you're not going to try and give yourself a funky undercut. You're
My
not doing any of that shit.
my mum asked me to give her layers, and I was
Mm,
like, Mum, I'm not qualified. Like I've done barely any stuff with female hair, never mind men's. You know,
mm.
so I was just like, I would prefer for both of our sakes to not do this. She was like, okay, fine. But yeah, everyone's hair is like awful. So I'm not looking forward to the onslaught that is going to happen next month when
Have
I go back
a
to
busy
work.
diary anyway.
Yeah, because I
Maybe
remember
people will
I
be really happy and give you a tip, give you tips.
yeah yeah, but like I was just like I remember I woke up. I think it was Wednesday when we reopened our booking. And I just remember the first day that we're open, which is the fourth. It's completely booked, kind of like completely
Mm,
booked. And I woke up like 2 hours after it opened. I was like, oh shit, oh boy. I think I go back 2 days after we open,
yeah.
on the Monday, and that's gonna be even worse.
Oh,
But um, you know, it shouldn't last too long. Maybe like 2 3 weeks of like the initial rush. But by August, I
mm.
reckon we'll be all right. But
You'd hope so, yeah.
yeah, but it is kind of quite stressful to think that you know, as much as like the longer this has gone on, the longer my holiday has been. Like, in theory, I guess, and the more time I've had off to do stuff. But at the back
There's
of my
not much
mind,
you
I've
can
always
do.
yeah. But also, like the longer we go on for, the longer people's haircuts are gonna get bad, and in theory, the more people will want to come in for a haircut. So like, it's always been a bit like, ooh, you know, it's gonna be quite tricky when we come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I really
oh,
hope that your shop are taking everything seriously, making sure that
yeah,
all of your staff are safe and obviously
yeah,
keeping your clients safe as well. But
yeah. Because we have
I'm
like,
I'm assuming everybody's going to be masked up and everything.
oh yeah, so like we're I mean, like, it wouldn't matter if we were, but like, we're quite a well-renowned barbershop throughout, like, St Albans and like Harpenden and things like that. People kind of know us all over the gaff.
What is the name of the barber shop?
Alternative Barbering Company. Um, yeah. So
I
we
know
were,
it's like down round the bend,
yeah,
like
Georgia
at the
Street.
yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't. Never really went down there that
yeah,
often, but
yeah.
I think I remember the name of that place.
I think just the cathedral's down there, and I think
Hmm.
there's a sushi place as well. Uh, I think I forgot what's it called again. There is a sushi place across the road. It's really nice. Um, but that's all that's down there apart from us.
Mm.
But like yeah, like we have quite a high reputation to uphold, I guess, and like I think everything will be done to the T, and everything will be done to like the highest standard that we possibly can. So like yeah, appointments are now much longer than they were beforehand, so we can clean up a bit more. Um, I have no idea if they're going to want me in slightly earlier.
Hmm.
As in, like, they might want me to come in for a training day just to like make sure we do everything right. Rather than like,
I
oh,
think a refresher course like
yeah,
would definitely make sense just to be like, I know it's been a while, guys. Do you still remember how to use scissors?
yeah, like I've been doing stuff in college, but I don't cut at the shop. I don't cut at the shop. But like,
Mm.
I think for most people, it has been just like 4 months of just like not doing anything, which
Yeah.
which must be weird to like just stop and do nothing. Because I've been quite fortunate to keep going with RADA online, and college has kind of still been going online as well. So you know,
Hmm.
it's been a bit of a struggle, but like it's nice to know that I'm not completely out of the loop. But yeah, a nice refresher course to kind of know what to do is going to be good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
think
so
so.
that I'm safe as well because
Yeah,
oh boy, it's still out there.
it's
uh,
definitely still out, and I'm gonna say it. I definitely think a second wave is gonna hit.
yeah, it, it,
I
it
think I think everything's lifted too soon, and
mm,
people have been way too like blasé with the rules.
mm,
Everybody's been going to the beaches, and especially lately with all the rallies and protests. I
yeah,
think that obviously it's for an amazing cause, and
Yeah,
If I
yeah,
wasn't
of course.
so terrified of the virus, I would be out there as well. But I I just think it's too much of a risk to go out because you see these pictures like the aerial views of London over the past few weeks, and it's
Mm.
like
Thousands upon thousands of people.
terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying.
It makes me feel so uncomfortable because I
Yeah,
know it's just a difficult situation because you can't tell these people now's not really a good time to be angry. Now's not
yeah.
really a good time to try and make a change.
I
But
think I think it definitely kind of has come out of people a bit more prominently because of the virus. People are kind of people are just fed up, you know.
no, absolutely. People
Not
say
only
now I have a really, really good reason to get out the
yeah,
house."
yeah, and like I think people are well within their right to go out and protest and try their very best to make a change. But it is also so scary that like it is happening at a time where there is other threat out there that kind of you know could make things 10 times worse.
Absolutely.
Scary, scary.
It is.
Um,
It's scary times we live in, man. I don't like
yeah,
it.
is the coronavirus still a big thing in Manchester? Is it still like I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't know
It
much more about kind of up north, but down here it's quite bad.
well because Manchester is one of the biggest cities other than London
Mm,
in the UK. It is bad, and
yeah,
there's a lot of people that haven't been taking the rules seriously. People
yeah,
have been going out and seeing people when they shouldn't be. It is definitely it, it's definitely still a big issue
yeah.
here.
I'll be honest with you as well. My neighbours are terrible. I think my neighbour on my left had someone in her house yesterday sharing a KFC, and then the neighbours on my right had decided that they were going to have their grandchildren round every single Sunday for the last like month. And you just sit there and you think, "Am I an idiot? Or like, is this virus not out there anymore?" You And it is hard.
People they just have such like ignorance, and they
Mm,
just think that they're invincible. It won't
yeah,
happen to them. So, oh, other people, but it'll be all right if I do. I
yeah,
mean, Jack's got a lot of family up here,
mm,
especially his grandparents. So we've been doing shopping and sort of checking in on them. And sometimes we will have a chat. They'll be in the door, we'll be on the driveway.
yeah,
Or lately, since we've been able to meet outside more, going through we've got like back gates, like straight into the
yeah,
garden. So we don't need to go in the house at all. Just go
yeah,
into the garden. We'll be on some chairs, a
mm,
safe distance, have a
yeah,
chat, enjoy the sunshine. I mean, it's gone now, but
yeah,
when there was the sunshine, enjoy it. But just being responsible, not touching each other, not
yeah,
hugging, not welcoming people into our homes, and not like staying there for like so long. Like we'll be there for
yeah,
like an hour maximum.
yeah. Like I had my friend round the other week, but we stayed out in the garden. You know,
Hmm.
um, 'cause he met my dog, and that was quite nice. For
Yes,
her,
how
for
is
her.
she?
She is she's great because with puppies like they're terrifying because like they bite and they don't know when to stop. They don't know how hard not to bite, but they do it anyway. So she's terrifying. Um, but she is also showing evidence of being the loveliest dog, which is really nice. So it's going to be another 2 years or so of her being an absolute nightmare, but it is going to be. She's going to be a lovely dog, and I'm really looking forward to when she kind of grows up a little bit more, and she's going to really become a part of the family, which is nice.
I mean, isn't it the same way with babies?
Yeah,
The
but I don't.
first couple of years they're just crying and taking up all your time, and then they turn into like actual sort of people.
but babies don't bite. Babies don't bite hands. Lily does. I have
No,
so
I
many
know.
cuts and scars from this dog, and she's only been here a month. But yeah,
No,
she's
my sister-in-law had a kitten last year,
mm,
and he loved to just scratch you and bite you and play with you. It was all just playing, but like,
yeah,
I mean, I think a cat's bite, I don't know. I haven't really been bitten by a dog. I've been bitten by loads of cats, but I don't
yeah.
know if a cat's bite isn't as strong as a dog's bite. But
Uh,
like, it still hurts.
yeah.
But
Well, because I can't. I don't think I've ever been bitten by a cat. So
ooh.
I've been bitten by Lily a lot, but obviously that's not the full strength of a dog.
Well,
Um,
no, because she's
yeah,
also playing and she knows, like, even if she bites harder than
yeah,
she intends to, she's still not giving you her full force because she knows she
yeah,
could probably bite your arm off.
yeah. And Rosie was never like bitey at all. So like she never bit me at all. Um, but like Lily does bite a lot.
Mhm.
She what's also weird now is that because I grew up with Rosie for so long, like and Rosie was quite a, s- a different dog, you know, like she was a very quiet dog and a
Very
very
docile.
yeah, but like Lily is very talkative, very shouty. She can be very aggressive. um, she
She's got
growls.
an attitude.
She
She's
does
a
have an
sassy little
attitude,
pup.
yeah. Because Mum was like, when we were talking to the breeder, and she was talking about the dogs, because the what they didn't have names in the beginning, so they just refer to them as their colours. So I think there was red, there was pink, there was lilac, and Lily was pink at one point. Um, and I just remember them saying, "Oh, Pink is so talkative," and Mum was like, "Oh, I like that." I was like, "Mum, talkative means like aggressive and like that's not gonna be fun." It's definitely a different experience to Rosie, yeah,
I think it's fun though, getting to engage with different personalities in pets,
yeah,
and I mean, especially since she's still so young, you're still seeing her grow and sort of come into herself, and
yeah,
hopefully, she's been able to interact a little bit with some other dogs
yeah.
while
So
she's been out, but
we
obviously
have
it's limited.
yeah, we have neighbours two doors down, and they have I think they have four Labradors.
Oof.
So yeah, I mean they've had Labradors like the whole time I've known them. They have like four Labradors I think, and one of them is like a couple months old, much older than Lily.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was quite nice to let Lily go in their garden and meet four big Labradors, and it was quite nice. Uh, but I think what the nicest thing has been is just like knowing that because I loved my Rosie, but Rosie was so timid and
hmm,
she wasn't very confident in herself. So when it came to other dogs, she was so like scared and like didn't want to go up to them. But to see the confidence that Lily has is really it's really lovely because I know how much I would have loved it if Rosie could have kind of interacted with other dogs. So to
yeah.
see the confidence in Lily is a really lovely thing to see.
I mean, uh, I can't wait until I can go and meet her. I think it would be so
Oh
nice.
yeah, I like you are more than welcome to come down at any time you want and meet Lilibet. She's great. She'll love you. My cousins are coming down tomorrow to meet her, so that will be quite fun. Although my little cousin is like 8 and she has like small hands, so we've got to be careful with that. Um,
Mm.
but I'm very excited for Lily to meet everyone and kind of like you know experience the world because it's been a very
Yes.
different world from the one where she was born a week before lockdown, so she's kind of
Mm.
been in her whole life just like us and a couple other people she can kind of meet, but like no one really can kind of come in the house and like meet her. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's exciting times, exciting times.
Yeah, I really can't wait until I can go meet her and just
Yeah,
in general just go and see people again and
yeah. I'm looking forward to coming up to Manchester. That's going to be fun.
yes,
Yes,
yes, absolutely. Oh, I'm so excited.
I've never been to. I think the furthest north I've been is the Lake District, but that was when I was like 8. But like the furthest I've been in the last 10 years is like County Durham or like Lincoln, I think.
Mm.
So to kind of go that far up north is going to be really fun.
Well, I mean, the Lake District is above Manchester, you know.
Yeah, but like not in the last 10 years. I haven't been that far up north. 100%.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of like true Northerners like
Yeah,
who would honestly get a little bit angry at you calling Manchester North, but
yeah. Because like I remember I asked Phoenix if when I was in Lincoln I was like, "Am I in the north?" And she was like, "Where are you?" I was like Lincoln. She was like, "Nah, Midlands." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Mhm.
But
Anybody from like Newcastle is like, no, if you're not like borderline in Scotland, you're not North.
yeah, but then like some people like think that the north of England starts north of Watford. You know, exactly. Like it's just like no, like it's really interesting to see like a north south divide where that is. You know.
hmm I mean, definitely like culturally and economically, there's a huge difference between Manchester and like London, Hertfordshire.
Yeah, I think
Huge difference.
I think someone drew a line and it was quite similar to like like the northwestern hemisphere. So not
hmm
northwestern, like the north south, and there's like a line and like it goes through Australia.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, I think our line of the north south divide in this country is the same.
hmm
It's like north. It kind of like dips under Leicester or something like that because Leicester has to be in the north. Um, but but yeah, I'm very excited to kind of come up and see Manchester. I think my parents are thinking of also going up to Liverpool at some point for a holiday, which would be quite fun.
hmm
So I might even like while I'm at it, just say, "Do you know what, guys? You do your own thing. I'll go off to Manchester for the day to see Georgia." I might do that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's
Yeah,
literally like a train ride away, like,
yeah,
and the train is so cheap, like from Liverpool to Manchester is like
yeah.
£5 for like a return. Like,
And actually, let me just check something. I might also be coming up, possibly to go to look at Manchester Manchester School of Theatre.
mm?
That was it. Because I did a spreadsheet quite recently of all the drama schools that there are and whether I like them or not. So I did do Manchester, but I want to look at where I put it and what my rating.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I put nah as the rating for Manchester. So I didn't like it apparently.
Good. I mean, I would be so gassed if you came up
Yeah,
to Manchester.
I will come up to Manchester anyway. But like, if oh, hang on, oh no, uh, this is the drama. This is one of the drama schools that don't have the grades for. It's 112 UCAS
Oh.
points.
I mean,
112. That's
that means very little to me. I don't know anything about UCAS points. Sorry.
I think like a C is like 32 points. I think so.
Okay.
So like it's the equivalent of like 4 C's, I think. But like yeah. But I promise you, I will be up at Manchester at my earliest convenience, and I will come and see you. Um, Also, it was really lovely to see you in St Albans, actually, even if it was very brief.
That was that was so so happy.
Oh, mate,
I just saw you and I was like, Jesus, I know that ginger boy. It's my son.
I the thing is, I was working, and I was getting the dry cleaning, and then I came back, and I was like, that's not Georgia, is it? Because Georgia's in Manchester. But Georgia also used to live in St Albans, so it would make perfectly logical sense that she's here. I was like, maybe I'll just stare at her for a bit, and if she recognizes me, it's her. And if she doesn't recognize me, I'll just keep walking.
Oh no, Craigie. You should have come came up to me the instant you saw me. I oh,
Oh, that
that was
was
really, really nice. I felt bad for my friend though.
no.
She was sort of standing there like,
I felt bad for your friend as well.
who this?
Like, I was beyond happy to see you because it was obviously such a lovely surprise. Like, um, oh, like you because I wasn't expecting it. It wasn't like we planned to meet up. It was just like we just happened to cross paths at that one moment, and
I
it was
was so
ridiculous.
happy.
I
I was
wasn't
so
even down to work that day. It was on a whim. I just came into work because I was bored.
I'm so glad that you did.
Yeah, but that was a very happy moment. Yeah.
My friend definitely, she was very jealous. She was like, "Oh, I see you've got another ginger in your life. Okay."
But like, oh man, I wish I could. I wish I could have stopped for longer. That was a killer. Like I was just sat there, just like, oh, I want to stay, and I want to hug Georgia for more than 5 minutes, and I want to go off and have a coffee and catch up. But like, I had to go back to work, and it was like, oh. But I promise you, in the near future, I will be up to Manchester, and I will be there. I promise.
Manchester is sick, so I can't wait to show you. Like,
Oh,
to me, it's like the perfect like amalgamation of like London and Brighton,
yeah,
and it's also on a small enough scale that like you can walk around the whole city like in
yeah,
like 40 minutes. Like you don't need to get tubes. You don't have
yeah,
to get on the bus. You don't have to get on the tram. Like if you
yeah,
just want to stay in the city centre, you can do it, and I like that.
yeah.
But you can also get the tram or the bus or drive to like all these other bits of Greater Manchester, and it's really cool. And oh, I can't wait! I can't wait! I'm so excited now.
I'm excited now as well because obviously I haven't left Watford in about 3 months. So like even like the prospect of going to like Harpenden is great. So to think about going to Manchester is incredible. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh, if you can see me right now, I'm grinning so much. I'm so excited.
I'm excited as well. Oh mate. Ah, I think that kind of is a nice way to wrap that up actually.
I'd say so. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, it's been like over an hour.
No, this has been brilliant actually. I really like long podcasts. So
Me too.
like
Me too.
yeah, so it's kind of been this has been a very nice conversation, and this has been a very lovely podcast. I'm very happy that you accepted to join me on this second episode.
Woo! Episode two. Two is my favorite number. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Oh, also before I forget,
Mhm.
this is your space now. If there is absolutely anything at all you would like to shout out, um, yeah, have your moment.
Uh, I think the only thing I really have to say right now is that Black Lives Matter, and
Yes.
that's pretty much all I really need to put out in the world.
Yeah.
Sign petitions, donate if you can,
Yeah.
support and amplify Black voices,
Yeah.
and just do whatever you can to
Yeah.
be
And
really
protest if you feel safe
like
as well. Yeah.
be actively
Yeah.
anti-racist. Don't just say, "Oh, I'm not like that." Do what you can, call people out, and
Yeah.
go for the revolution. I'm sorry, I didn't want to get too political, but
No, that's absolutely
absolutely.
fine. That's absolutely fine. Honestly, I think that's a very brilliant note to end that on, and I think that should have its own space, you know. And yeah, thank you very much for bringing that up. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, that kind of wraps it up, Georgia. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, Craig.
Oh,
It's been so lovely.
it's been a brilliant podcast, and I just hope that everyone else enjoys it just as much as I have because it's been great. It's been
Oh
really
yeah,
fun.
I
I think
hope people aren't just listening, being like, "Oh Jesus, will they like stop going on and on?" I hope we're somewhat entertaining to others,
yeah.
but
But if people get the same enjoyment that I got out of this podcast, then you know people will really enjoy this podcast. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this second episode. Thank you all very much for listening, and I will see you all next week. Bye bye.
bye.
Bye.